So while we're here, let's discuss The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. Now, I've picked up this book because I did it as a buddy read with Brooke from Brooks Books, and I was very underwhelmed. The story, if you don't know, follows a woman called Rowan who takes up a job as a nanny. It is a residential job, if that's the right word. Basically, she lives there, and it's in Scotland. So she moves from her home in London up to Scotland to take care of these children. And there are 4 children. There is one who is at private school but will come home eventually. There are 2 young girls, and then there is a baby girl. And she's charged with taking care of them. She moves in and immediately is left to care for them because the mum and dad go away on business meetings literally the next day. So, bit dramatic there. And she is left to take care of them. But there are strange goings on around the house, and there are rumours that the home is haunted. So much going around like that. And the story follows that through this nightmare situation that she's been put in, one of the children that she is caring for ends up dead. And she is put in prison for the death. And the story is basically written as her writing a letter to, I don't know what his job is, whether it's a lawyer or a barrister, someone who can represent her, telling her story. This is the story of how she didn't commit the murder and how she needs help to prove that she didn't commit the murder. And I have seen so many people rave about this book. It is one of them books that every booktuber who has read it has said, wow, I thought it was great, I love it. And I've never seen a bad review. I'm sure they're out there, but I've never seen one. And I just felt very underwhelmed. I feel as though the pace was very slow. Like, I was just reading it like, right, get to the point. And as much as I enjoyed the description and things like that, I felt it was useful and interesting to read. It wasn't really relevant to the story. And I think that was the point. Like, this whole thing is, I know this isn't relevant to what happens, but it seems important to tell you everything as well, which is all well and good until you get a 340-page book. Because I don't think the action really kicked in until 240, because I started reading this and then I got to page 240 and stopped, and then picked it up the next day and the drama had started then at page 240 of a 340-page book. So the last 100 pages were dramatic. The last 40 pages were where it really kicked off. And I don't think you should be reading a book for the last 40 pages. If it's not interesting, you are not doing what it says on the tin within the first 100, that's not great. If it doesn't do it until the last 40, that's very much not great. I enjoyed it. I don't really know what to say about this book. It had a lot of pros. I really liked the characters. I thought they were all interesting. I thought they were very well developed. But the story itself just didn't seem relevant until near the end. Because this story is about obviously a child dying and her being arrested for the murder, but it spent the majority of the book kind of showing us what these children were like to her, and I'm like, right, like, I see why you're doing that, but at the same time, give us the point of the story. Like, get to it. I want to know what happens then, what happens next, how's it going to end. And it just fell short. That is the best way to describe it. It just fell short for me. I decided to give this book a 3.5 star rating because I thought it was fine. I thought it was good. It was an enjoyable read. I didn't read this and think, this is boring. I was enjoying it. It just wasn't great. The reason this book got a 3.5 star rating is because even though I enjoyed it, I felt it was good. With a 3-star book, I tend to just not really care either way, whether I liked it or not. It was just alright. And I did enjoy the book. I enjoyed learning about the characters. I enjoyed the story. I just felt as though the slowness of the pace and the lack of relevant plot until near the end were just a bit of a deal breaker, so it could not have got a 4-star rating from me. but it was good. I don't want to discourage anyone from reading the book because it's definitely worth picking up and reading. But I feel as though, for me personally, this book suffered with BookTube hype. Everyone talks about it so much, everyone loved it, and I built up my expectations thinking this is going to be an absolutely amazing book. It's going to have no problems. I'm going to love it. It's going to be the best. And I didn't. It was okay. I think if I'd have picked this up randomly without hearing about it, I would have really, really liked it. But I think because of the hype it's been getting all over BookTube recently, it just kind of fell short because I expected much more. And I know that's my problem, not the book's, but if you have read a book and got a BookTube hype and it's got you really excited to read it, there is a good chance you'll be let down. So that's my review of it. I don't want to discuss any spoilers. I would definitely say if you fancy it, pick it up. If you want to pick it up because the story has been hyped so much and you're really looking forward to it, just be very cautious about it because I don't want your opinions to be too much. But the story was great. I think the only issue I had with it was that it did suffer from the BookTube hype. The pacing was a bit slow for me because I expected it to be this high intensity, dramatic, action-filled book, and it wasn't. It was okay. So there's my review. I'm sorry if it's not the best review. I know a lot of people love this book. I can see why a lot of people love this book. I think because a lot of people love this book, I just built up my expectations a little too much. So that is it from me. Great book, just not the best. But yeah, if you have read this book, let me know what you thought. If you give it a higher or lower rating, let me know why. I really want to discuss this book with anyone that's read it because I'm really interested to see how everyone else found it. So that is it from me. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, and then intermittently throughout the week. So until next time, I will see you guys later.